Hello students. Today we are continuing what we talked about yesterday, our frogs versus toads. We're going to read a little bit more about how they are similar and how they are different, and we're going to draw a Venn diagram to show how they are similar and different, doing our comparing and contrasting with our Venn diagram. We did one last week with butterflies, so this week we're doing one with frogs versus toads. Going to be reading about frogs and toads. After this, we are going to do another reading with some questions and a Venn diagram so we can compare and contrast frogs and toads. Table of contents, we know what that does. It shows us each of our different chapters, and we can go to the page to find it. Leapers and peepers. What animals live underwater and later can live on land and breathe air? Frogs and toads. These amphibians have special changing bodies that let them live on land and in the water at different times in their lives. Amphibians are ectotherms. They raise and lower their body temperature using the air or water around them. They do not make their own heat like people. American toads warm up in the sun. To cool down, they get wet or sit in the shade. Spring peepers get their name from the sound they make. The smallest frog can fit on the tip of your nose. The largest fills a dinner plate. Frogs make big leaps using their long, strong legs. Generally, frogs have smoother skin, slender bodies, and long back legs. Many toads have bumpy skin and short, squat bodies. However, they both pass air and water through their skin and need moist homes. Frogs and toads are more alike than different. The world's more than 4,000 kind of frogs and toads live on every continent but Antarctica. The greatest number live in tropical rainforest. So just like our butterflies, they are on every continent except Antarctica. Many animals eat frogs and toads. They give people an idea about habitat health too. Frogs and toads cannot live in polluted places. Small start. In different ways, Earth's living things start, grow, reproduce, and die. As frogs and toads go through their life cycle, their bodies change shape. They start life as small, soft eggs. Different kinds of frogs and toads lay eggs in trees, ponds, streams, and other wet places. Amphibians lay eggs without shells. The eggs look like little sacs of liquid surrounded by protective jelly. Many frogs and toads lay eggs and leave. Others care for their eggs. They may carry eggs with them or guard them. This is a glass frog. They guard their eggs. The male midwife toad carries his mate's eggs on his back until they hatch. A tadpole's world. After about a week, tadpoles hatch from the eggs. Like fish, tadpoles have tails for swimming and gills for breathing. Their eyes look out from the sides of their heads. Young tadpoles have no legs. Tadpoles eat algae and other tiny plants. Tree frogs may lay their eggs on a leaf overhanging a pond. As the eggs hatch, the tadpoles plop into the water. As tadpoles grow legs, they begin to look more like young frogs. Frogs and toads may lay many eggs at once, in the hope that at least a few will survive. A few kinds of frogs and toads carry their tadpoles to protect them. Tadpoles grow legs and lungs. Their tails shrink and their eyes move to face forward. Their bodies get ready to live out of the water. Tadpoles and frogs have teeth. The tadpoles of North America's largest frog, the American bullfrog, take 2 to 3 years to change into frogs. The tadpole stage usually lasts 1 to 3 weeks. Some kinds, though, spend the winter as tadpoles and change into adults in the spring. For American bullfrogs, the extra time and growth as tadpoles makes for larger adults. Strawberry poison dart frog mothers lay an egg daily for each tadpole to eat. Hopping hunters. As adults, frogs and toads learn how to live in yet another new world. Most now eat only other animals like insects and worms. They have new enemies like birds, snakes, and raccoons. They must learn to hunt and avoid other hunters. Color forms a defense. Poisonous frogs and toads use their bold colors to warn away hungry animals. Green or brown frogs and toads remain unseen. White's tree frog can change from brown to green and back again. As it finishes transforming into an adult, a young frog's tail will continue to shrink. These are some poison dart frogs. The common spadefoot toad spends the winter deep in the soil. In cold areas, toads survive winter by hibernating. Some dig down to where frost cannot reach. Wood frogs make antifreeze for their bodies. They freeze but thaw in the spring unharmed. In deserts, frogs and toads stay deep in the ground until heavy rain awakens them. This may only happen once a year. And here's our life cycle that we've been talking about. They begin as eggs, tadpoles hatch, tadpoles eat, grow, and change into adults. Adults find mates and start the cycle again. Here's some glossary words. Our index, and some other things to look for.